Okay, so now I'm looking at example 5. What they've done in example 5 is they didn't draw the triangle. We don't have to label the sides opposite and adjacent. Basically, they just jumped to this part of the equation right here, and you're already like on the second step of the equation where you're going to solve it. So in this first one, this is just where like we're doing the algebra. So you're just going to go to your calculator and enter tan 46. And so 1.0355 is what that is. Again, I'm going to do dot, dot, dot to show that there's more decimals, but I'm just too lazy to write them all because we don't actually want to round all those decimals. We never round intermediate values. And so then cross multiply, x times 1 is x, and then 12 times 1.0355. I can just say calculator times 12, and it says 12.4 to the nearest tenth because we're going to the nearest tenth. Okay, so in this next one, there's that theta again for our variable. So when our angle is a variable, we said we use tan inverse when x is the angle, when the variable is the angle. So this time you can go straight to your calculator, and we're going to do second in the tangent button, 3 divided by 5. And so 30.96, so 0.96, we would look to the nearest tenth of the 6 there. That would tell us to round up the 9, and then we know if we round up 9, we automatically have to round up the next number over. So the way we would denote this is tan inverse of 3 over 5, and so that's approximately 31 degrees. Okay, so if you will, pause and you try. Okay, so hopefully you went ahead and tan 12 was approximately 0.2125 dot 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 equals 3 over x. So then when you go to cross multiply, something interesting happens. So 3 times 1 is 3, but then you have 0.2125 dot 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 times x. So now how are you going to get x by itself? You're going to divide both sides by 0.2125. So the question is, Ms. Benton, do I have to do 3 divided by all those decimals? And the answer is yes. Yes, you do. But I'm going to show you a neat little trick in your calculator. If you will say, so here's my tan 12 divided by 0.2125, 3 divided by, and then if you'll arrow up on top of that 0.2125 and hit enter, it copies and pastes that 0.2125 into the line that I'm currently entering, and so I don't have to physically retype all those decimals. So 14.1 is approximately what x is. Okay, so let's look at part C. 2 tangent theta equals 0.2887. So I'm just going to recopy the problem down here. And my hint was, since this is times, to get x by itself, if you will divide both sides of the equation by 2 first. I know it feels weird to have a word in the middle of your problem, but it's totally admissible. Don't worry, there'll be a lot more words in your math before you're done with high school math. So I'm getting 0.14435 when I divided that by 2. And now since our angle is the variable here, we know we will tan inverse that 0.14435. And so I'm getting approximately 8.2 degrees. Okay. The last thing we have here on the you try, so I wanted you to think about this for a second. you don't actually have to divide both sides by 2 on this one. Think about it. If we were, and you don't have to write this down, but if we were to divide by 2, we would have tan 30 equals x over 2, and that doesn't help us to get x by itself. Really, guys, keep in mind, tan 30 is just a number, right? Tan 30 in your calculator is 0.577 is what this is. And so you're really just multiplying 2 times 0.577 is all you're doing. So in your calculator, that comes out to be 1.2. And we should do squiggles because that's approximately, I'm rounding. Okay, so that's the end of this video, and then I'll see you for the last example 6.